suppose you are a regular customer for someone, right? You normally purchase something from the shopkeeper, right? So let's suppose you have purchased any laptop or mouse. Let's suppose today only you have purchased. Now you want, that laptop, like you want to purchase more of that laptops, but you want to purchase after an year or 2 year or a 3 year. Okay, so what you will do is you will ask the shopkeeper, I will be coming after 2 years and I want this laptop or mouse to be at the same price which you are giving me now. Okay, because usually, as you already know, right, prices gets changed in a like matter of months, right? So contracted price make sure, like, for a specific customers, we can configure the prices for a specific product as well. Whenever they will come, they will be charged only that price. Let's suppose today is a charge of a product is, let's suppose 10 rupees, right? Now you come after an year, then also the price of that product will be charged 10 rupees for you only, not for all the customers, right? It does not matter whether the price at that point of time is like 50 rupees or 100 rupees, but for you it will be only 10 rupees. Okay, so if you face any this kind of requirement in CPQ, there is one beautiful concept which is known as contracted price. Okay, so I'll show you step by step how to configure contracted price in CPQ, right? So, like, I will be going one by one by, these bullet points. Okay, I'll show you the demo as well. So just keep focus on this demo, because at the end of this session you will be having a Kahoot quiz, and inside that there will be questions, right? So all the questions are, coming from this session only. Okay, so first thing is contracted price, right? So always remember, just give me a second. Yeah. So what I was saying is, this contracted price basically set up on account level. Okay. Basically, contracted price associates with the account itself, right? We have a contracted price related list. Okay. If I go to any account, this is my account, right? If you see, I have already set up a contracted price. If you want to set up a new, just click on new contracted price. Okay. These are the fields of contracted price. Okay. Now, let me go back first and open this account. This is the contracted price. Okay, I'll click on this and I'll simply delete this. Okay, I'll simply delete it. Now this is my account, right, on which I'm going to set up the contracted price. You can see there is one contracted price already here, right? Now, if I go back to my slides, what it says is apply account wise discount on a particular kind of products, right? So basically what happens is you can select any product here, right? If you try to quote, like CPQ is all about quotation, right? So if you try to quote a particular product under this account, right, so you can configure that thing is like, you want to give a particular a percentage of discount to that customer. Basically customer is like this account, right? So you can specify the product here, right? Otherwise what you can do is you can specify the price as well. If you don't want to give any discount, let's suppose you want to specify the price itself, okay, not the discount. So you can specify the price here itself. Okay, whatever price has been, defined in the standard price book of this contracted price, it will get override by this price. Okay, I'll show you how it happens. Okay, let me show you this thing. This is my quote line which already I have quoted out. This is the product. Okay, soft phone license. If you see this, it is having a standard price of 25, right? $25. Now I go to my quote, and as soon as I click on edit lines, let me delete this first. Okay, if I click on add products, here I will select soft phone license. Okay, Yes. If you see, currently its price is $25, which is coming straight away from the related standard price list, right? Which is defined on the product level, right? Now, now this quote is basically, if you see the account over this quote, basically this is the Grand Hotels and Resorts Limited, right? If I open this account now, now you will see this account has one parent account itself, which is this account, this one, right? So this is the parent, this is the child account. Now when you set up a contracted price, if you see here, automatically populates on child accounts in case of parent child relationship on account level, right? So let's suppose you have set up the contracted price on this account. Okay, if any of the account is having parent, this account is having parent of this account, right? So automatically your contracted price will travel from parent to child itself, right? So first, let me do one thing. Let me show you a demo first, then you will be able to uh clear it easily. To me. Now if you see, this is the account on which we have associated the contracted price, right? If I click on edit lines, and if you see the contracted price thing, it is associated with this soft phone license. So what I am giving is, whenever I quote on this account and add this product, it will give me a 2% of discount. Let me change this to 10%. Okay, and I'll click on save. Now if you go back to this quote, now if I click on edit products, there will be soft phone license. Now you will see automatically 10% discount is getting applied on 25. Okay, now the thing is, basically CPQ follows a particular price waterfall model. Now I'll show you where this contracted price lies in that price waterfall model. Now if you see this table, these are the different type of prices we have in CPQ, and it follows order from top to bottom. Okay, now we have a special price. If you see, price after contracted price is taken into account. List price says your standard price. Standard price means the price defined in price book entry, which is in our scenario, which is $25, right? After contracted price is getting applied, it will store that price to special price. Okay, now I'll show you how it's happening here. If I click on save, if you go back to this quote line, right? If you open this quote line, now if you see here, there is a field contracted price, which is lookup of the contracted price which we have associated on account level, right? Now this thing is populated by CPQ itself. right? Whenever you have applied any contracted price on any account and your product is coming under any contracted price, you can, if you have to verify, right, how like contracted price is associated with my quote line, you just have to look into this field, contracted price. Okay, another thing is, I have shown you like it is associated with special price, right? So in special price there is one field basically which is known as special price type, and it contains the value contracted price. It has other values as well, but if you have applied contracted price, CPQ will specify automatically the contracted price value in the special price type itself, right? Now, if I go back to my slide, one point is effective date and expiry date will play a vital role if they are set. Now, if I go back to my account, let me remove this. Yep. Now, if you see, there are two fields, basically expiration date and effective date. Now, you can set these fields as per your requirement. Now, customer says, I will come after an year. I want this soft one license product still have the discount of 10% for me. I will come after an year, or within an year I will come again, right? So for that, for you can specify the dates as well, right? From today to after an year date you can specify here. Effective date means starting date. Expiration date means this contracted price will get expired automatically as soon as it expiration date gets achieved. Within that date, within those date duration, if any customer come of this account, right, and quoted this soft phone license, then automatically within that date duration 10% discount automatically get applied, right? So in this way you can use these fields as well, right? Always remember, either of discount or price, one needs to be placed. If you place a discount on 10%, does not matter whatever your price is present in standard price book, it will automatically give the 10% discount, right? If you specify the price instead of discount, it will simply override that standard book price. Now now let's suppose you have the requirement, you want this 10% discount to be applied on all the products. On all the products means to say, on all the products which are having a product family as hardware. You want to discount for this customer or for all the hardware products. In that case, you have to remove this product lookup and you have to select here product field, which is product family. Filter value is hardware. Okay, and operator is equals. Now, in moving forward, whenever any quotation happens under this account, automatically all the hardware products will get the 10% discount, right? In this way you can achieve this kind of requirement as well. Now, always remember, if you have specified any discount schedule here on contracted price, it will simply override the discount schedule which is present on the product record. Okay, now discount schedule is something different. Just for the time being, just imagine it as, there will be a tires of discount. Tires means to say, let's suppose I have configured in such a way, I want, if product, like, there is a product named as laptop. If I purchase two quantities of laptop, system will give me 20% of discount. If I purchase five quantities of laptop, system will give me 10% of discount or 40% of discount, right? In this way we used to set up the discount schedule, and discount schedule is always set up on the product level, right? But if you have defined a contracted price for the similar product, and if you have associated the discount schedule on contracted price record, which is here, then it will simply override the discount schedule which you have specified on the product level, right? Now now one last thing which I want to show you here is, basically, let me cancel this out. Okay, now if I move back to my slide, now first thing is automatically populates on child accounts. Okay, I'll show you that thing how it happens, right? If you see, there is no contracted price associated with this account, right? But it is having a parent account on which we have associated the contracted price. Now, if I go back to any quote which is having the account of child, right? If I click on edit lines here, if I click here and delete this out, okay. If I again, I believe I have already taken the child account itself. Okay. Now this is my child account basically. And if you see now, it is showing $25, right? Okay, let me check what's happening. Account is this. Let me go to here. Now, if you see, this is the checkbox, ignore parent contracted price, right? I have quoted this product against my child account and it is not reflecting the contracted price because on child account, I have checked this checkbox. If you want to restrict your accounts not to take contracted price from parents, you have to simply check this checkbox on your account. Then if then it will not take the value from the parent. Let me uncheck this out. Okay, I'll show you. If you uncheck this out and you will click on save. Now this is the child account, right? Which is not having any contracted price associated with it. Now it will take the value from parent itself because we have unchecked this checkbox, ignore parent contracted prices. Now if I go back here and normally delete this, okay, quick save this. I'll refresh this out. If I click on add products, if I select here as soft phone license, now you see 22.5 is coming as net total, right? Automatically 10% of discount is getting applied. If I click on save, now you see this account is child account, right? It does not have any contracted price associated with it, right? There is no contracted price. So, but we have associated the parent account on which we have associated the contracted price, configured the contracted price, right? So automatically your child accounts will take the value from the parent account of contracted prices, right? But if you want to stop, you have to simply check this checkbox, right? It is clearly written here, automatically populates, right? Check ignore parent contracted prices field to avoid overriding of contracted prices from parent to child. Now, if you have block pricing products, like there are products on which block pricing is configured, or POT products. POT means percentage of total. Percentage of total means, let's suppose I want to purchase a laptop. Okay, in that inside that laptop they are giving me some headphones as well, which is having cost, let's suppose 1% of the laptop, right? Cost of headphone is equal to 1% of the laptop. So headphone in that case is percentage of total product. So we cannot configure contracted price on block pricing products or percentage of total products, right? Now now you there will be one question in your mind which says, like, how this contracted price is, storing the information. If I specify a date here and after 3 years I specify the end date here, right? Now the thing is, it follows the concept of snapshot. Okay, as soon as you configure the contracted price on any account, it will create a snapshot in his, you can say, a memory area, right? Okay, whenever you go to any quote or a quote line editor, it will automatically applies the contracted price with the help of that snapshot inside the memory, right? So in this way CPQ remembers everything. Okay, now, so last thing is avoid two contracted prices record for same kind of products, right? Now there is contracted price associated on this account basically with this product, right? Now if you specify another contracted price record of the same product on this account, now then CPQ will get confused, right, which one to refer. So maybe it can give you an error as well, or it will result in an inconsistent data as well. Okay, suppose you are wanting to apply a 10% discount, maybe from the second record you will see some different results on your quote line editor. So always prefer, you must have one record of contracted price associated with the single product, right? There should not be two records which is pointing to the same product, right? Now one last information which I want to give you is, uh, you have specified the contracted price on this account, right? Burlington Textiles Corporation of America, right? Now let's suppose a requirement comes in your project, they says they don't want to apply the contracted price of this account, you know they want to apply the contracted price of this account, okay, over this account, but parent account, like there is no relationship between child and parent. Okay, if it is removed here, okay, let me remove this. Okay, now these two accounts are basically separate accounts. Now they say they want to apply the contracted price of this account to this account, okay, in spite of not being having any relationship between them. Okay, so that thing we can do with the help of a special field in CPQ. Sorry, actually I forgot the name of that field. Basically it's just like, comes up in my mind. You have to populate that field on court record itself, okay, with the account lookup. Okay, like you can use lightning flow or any automation. Okay, uh, let me check whether we have to. Okay. No, let me check. You can see uh contracted account ID, right? Apply a contracted price from a different account on a Salesforce CPQ code, right? So what you have to do is, you have to either, you can create a lookup relationship field which is having a same API name, contracted account ID, right? A formula field can also be used. It must return a valid account ID. You can return a formula field as well, right? But always remember the API name will be this, contracted account ID. So CPQ will automatically understand, on this account I have to apply the contracted price of some other account if this field is populated on a quote record. Whenever you are going to create a quote, just on before insert, write a triggered flow, lightning triggered flow, and populate this field with the required account ID. Okay. Now, so as far as contracted prices is concerned, yeah, that's it from my side. I'll, forward now to Ashwini. She will be presenting the guided selling. Okay, I'll stop sharing my screen.
Thanks, Dikshit. Hello everyone, Ashwini here. Uh, Let me share my screen. Okay. Are you guys able to see my screen?
Yes, Ashwini, it is visible.
Okay, fine. So, before starting with a guided selling, I would ask all of you, like, do you have any single question for Dick? Move ahead. Okay. I consider this silence as a go ahead. Okay. So, guided selling is really very simple topic can have in a Salesforce CPQ implementation. So, guys, we are just discussing. It's a kind of interactive session. So, we are discussing. It's not like I am teaching and you are learning. We are learning together. Okay. So, we talk around three questions only: what, why, and how. So, before going to, like, technical or anything, uh, if we go to shopping, okay, suppose if we are going to shopping and you go to a shoe shop, the first question that salesperson who is there in a shop is asked, what he asked you first question, he always asks, sir or ma'am, what you are looking for. The first question. Okay, if obviously it's a shoe shop, so you'll reply, I am looking for a shoe, I'm looking for a shoes pair. The immediately next question he asked, what type of shoe you want? Running shoe, casual shoe, formal shoes, or you can say boots. You answered running shoe. The next question immediately, based on your response, he asked, what size you are looking for, sir or ma'am? You answered, suppose 8 or 7. What this do, or what this kind of process, it helps that salesperson to find the exact matching shoes uh, for your requirement. This is nothing but a guided selling in Salesforce CPQ. Guided selling, it's a kind of tool in a Salesforce CPQ which prompts the questions that helps customer to respond, and based on customer's response, it helps salesperson to find the exact products, or you can say uh, near to that exact matching products to customer, so that customer can have optimized list of products. So this is guided selling. Okay, why guided selling is required in Salesforce CPQ? A very basic answer, I guess everyone can. Suppose you have you can say you have a manufactured industry, or you have a manufactured business. For that, you have to set up a Salesforce CPQ. You are manufacturing a matrices, different types of matrices. You have variety of matrices, and on top of that, you have that matrices in a various firmness, options, and sizes. So if customer comes in and he asks salesperson, I am looking for this size of matrices, firmness should be this, colors should be this, the various parameters should be this and that and that. If you are not having guided selling setup in your system, what that salesperson do, he or she has to go through the hell lot of long list of products and try to find the matching, or I can say which goes near to that customer's requirement products, and then offer that to customer. Now let's say see the same scenario when you have guided selling setup. If suppose a customer gives a proper information that, okay, I'm looking for this size, I'm looking for this color, I'm looking for this firmness. So what salesperson do, it will create a code, it will enter, it will come to guided selling, it will answer the question, what size is this size, this color. Then what Salesforce CPQ do? Salesforce CPQ, based on the response from salesperson, it will match the products and bring only those sorted, or you can say bring only those filtered products to salesperson. Automatically, it's a less time consuming, and by getting the optimized list, salesperson can offer a best products, or I can say in a very less time he or she can offer a best products to customer. Are we clear with what exactly guided selling do, or what exactly guided selling is? Any questions, guys?
Ashwini, you have to check the chat window in order for questions. Like all the participants are on mute. Okay.
Okay, 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 okay,
Yeah.
okay, okay.
So what you can do is you can present the session, and at last we can pick up the questions from the chat window. Okay.
That's absolutely fine. That's absolutely fine. So, guys, let me show you first how guided selling looks into our system. So, let's pick any random code. Okay, let's pick this one. Zero is my favorite number, that's why. Okay, don't bother how we are going to set up, what it is. Again, I'll tell everything. By the way, this is really simple topic. Anyway, okay, so this is code. Let me click on edit lines. Here we landed on a line editor. Okay, click on add products. See, are you able to see the icon? This is a guided selling icon, and this is how the guided selling prompt looks like. So let's see how we are going to set up a guided selling. So before that, I have very nice image which summarize the objects included in a guided selling. Okay, okay, my bad. Every time I have to do like this. Okay, so the main object, you can say, the head object of this whole process is a code process. Okay, the code process is a main object. Then we can have process input. A single code process can have multiple process inputs. Then we have process input condition object. So single process input can have multiple input conditions. Don't bother about what exactly it is, we are going to see. Okay, so I have already mentioned the steps here in a short. First of all, tell me, we are going to filter out the products. Okay, so to match that which products we need to filter out, we have to create few fields on a product itself. So our first step to create a field on a product. But before that, let's see the for right now I'm closing the code. So let me show you how I created this guided selling. So by the way, the use case is more related to Dikshit because he is very foodie. So it's like having a he has a restaurant and he is asking a customer meal type, that which menu you are looking for, veg or non-veg. So let me open the fields. The first step, if you are noting down something, then note down these steps as well. I have mentioned these steps in a slide itself. So first of all, we'll create a first field that is a meal type. It's a picklist kind of field. Okay, it has it has two things. Okay, which meal type you are looking for, it's whether you want veg or non-veg. So I have just added two values. As then obviously after getting answer, okay, I'm looking for veg, you would need a next question, that is what veg menu you are looking for. So I'll create a pick list, two fields along with it, that is veg menu and your non-veg menu. Again, it's a pick list field because I have lot of options here. I guess these are the favorite items of Dixit only. That's why he added it. chole bhature, momos, masala dosa. Then non-veg menu, we have tandoori chicken, chicken biryani, like that. So our first step is done, that we have to create a field on a product object. Okay, because if you forgot to create a fields on a product object, then there is a no point to which thing you are matching the answers. Correct? To match the answers, you have the fields on a product object. So after creating this field, we are going to our next step. So this is a code process object. You can already, the tab is there, so you can go like this. Just go to all tabs, find code process, open the object, create a new record, name it. I'll come to these fields later at the end because I don't want to confuse you guys. So simply create a code process record. Okay, got it. Now the questions, how we are going to set up those questions. So for those questions, we have to configure a process input object. Okay, just simply try to remember or try to understand, process input is a input given by guided selling. Okay, so we have to set up a inputs in this object, that okay, I want, please guided selling ask these questions to customer. So whatever questions you want to ask to customers, you have to set up those in a process input. So the first question we want to ask, that is, what would you like to have? Okay, so we have set up a first input, process input, that is meal type. We have given a label, what would you like to have? Display order, definitely it's a basic thing, that at what order you want to set this question. So display order is 10, it means this is the first question, or you can say 1 2 3, you can set up 20 20 20 30. Now this is an important thing, that is, from which field we need to take input. If you are setting up a question meal type, the meal type has two values, veg and non-veg. From where these value come up, you have to mention that field API name into input field. But here is a catch, guys. You have, these fields are coming not from product object. These are from process input object itself. So we have to create same three fields on process input object as well. So if you can see, let me show you the object first. This is process input object, and we have created same three fields here only. Okay, veg menu, non-veg menu, and meal type. So create a fields on product object, create same fields on process input object. Product object fields will match the answer. Process input object fields will take a input to ask the questions. Are we clear? Okay. If you have any questions, I'll come up. I'll tell these things again. Okay. So after setting up the fields on a process input, I have set up a process input, that this I want. What would you like to have? These and this. Okay. Right now, just ignore this process input regulated. Okay, go back to process guided selling, set up second input. If suppose now your first question is what you are looking for, and if you answer that question, what is the next question? So this is our second question, available wage item. You can say second question or a second thing, available wage items. So you want to show the veg menu. Now you also want to show non-veg menu, so you have to create a process input for that as well. Now tell me one thing, we have to set up the based on the answer of first question, we have to set up a next thing. So for this thing, we have one object, that is process input condition. A really simple thing, it's a process input condition, on based on which conditions you want to show this process input. So based on which condition you want to show this veg menu. So you have to create a process input condition saying that show this process input called veg menu when meal type equals to veg. Okay, you have created a condition for this process input. Okay, I want to show this process input only if meal type is equals to veg. Again, same we have to copy for non-veg menu as well, that I want to show this non-veg process input when meal type equals to non-veg. Now tell me, if you haven't set up these, you just set up these three process inputs, okay? And you haven't set up these input conditions. What will happen? It will give you all three questions at a one time. It should not be like a dependent one, that okay, based on the selection of previous answer, it will show you the next input. It's not like that. And as soon as you added input conditions to any process input, suppose this condition is based on meal type, okay, this, so this is a master process input. As soon as you added input conditions to any process input, whichever is a master process input, the inputs regulated records get created for that. It means that this meal type will control these two questions. Meal type, or vice versa, these two questions are depending upon the answer of meal type, or you can say this master process inputs response. So the guided selling is now set up. Okay, so let me go to code. Okay, let me refresh it. So let's see, let me cancel it and again.
Yeah, should
Now the one,
go back and click on add products.
yeah, that's what I'm going to. Now what happen is, I actually want you to encounter that issue, and then because it will then remember forever. Okay, what happen usually is, guys, whenever we are newly learn guided selling, or whenever we try to set up a guided selling, no, we set up everything. We create a field on a product, we create a field on a process input, we create a guided code process record, we create a process input, we wrote everything, we configured everything. But the most important, and you can say a key of this, or you can say heart of guided selling, we forgot. That is, link that code process, linking this guided selling to our code. That is, we forgot to populate the ID of that guided selling into the field called code process ID. This is a field on a code object which decides which guided selling you want to execute for this particular code. In a real time scenario or in a live project, we always has a automation to populate this ID. Right now I have set up a flow to populate the guided selling ID in a code process ID field. You can have workflow, process builder, anything you can have to populate this ID. So what happened if I suppose I forgot to populate ID? Okay, I save the code, I'll tell you what happened. I'll show you. Now we forgot. Now this is my code. Let me click on edit lines. Okay, let products. Ta-da! Nothing is there. Then we start thinking like this. I have done this. I have done that. I have done that. I haven't done anything wrong. You know what happened? Always checks that whether you have populated the ID of that particular guided selling onto code. So let me cancel this code. Okay, let me do this. Okay, I have randomly picked up any code. Okay, let me populated the ID of code process. I have copied the ID of code process. Huh? So you can say this is a field which link the code object to code process object. Okay. As soon as I populated a field, click on guided selling. Now I have to create a code for my customer which are looking for the products. Here it is. So what would you like to have? If I click on none, nothing. Right now I'm not looking for anything. Okay, I'm looking for veg menu, available veg items. What veg items you have? These three. Okay, looking for non-veg, these three. Okay, if I click on non-veg and tandoori chicken, if I click on suggest, the product comes in. Okay. Again, one thing which usually we forgot while doing guided selling, that is we have to populate guided selling fields on product itself, correct? If I haven't populated here, meal type is non-veg, then non-veg menu, how this will pick up the products? Because anyway, guided selling, whatever question is asked by a salesperson or whatever questions are there in a guided selling, that ultimately matches the answer that is there on product. So we have to make sure that two things: check always your code has populated with code process ID if you are setting up a guided selling, and the second, your products are populated with the guided selling fields. You can have a separate section as well saying that guided selling fields, and add those fields over there and populate with the correct values. Okay, these are the few things I have for you. Now the remaining part, that is I want to share with you, that this fields. So this is a process name. This is default. If we check this checkbox default, this guided selling will default executed for your code. If you have multiple guided selling, this is interesting. Okay, I want to show you this. Auto select product. Okay, if I click this checkbox and save, what it will do, I'll tell you. Let me go back to our code. Let me refresh this. Auto select product. Okay, we are looking the execution of auto select product checkbox. I'm in a code, guided selling. Okay, I want to have non-veg, that is tandoori chicken. If I click on suggest, observe see what it does. It has automatically added that single product. But the condition is, when you have this auto select product as a true, and if your guided selling results return a single product, remember only one product, then it automatically select that product and adds to your code. If you have multiple products, it haven't automatically add those multiple products to the code. You have, ठीक है? If you have single products and you have auto select product as a true, it will automatically add that product to your code. And if we deselect this, again check, it won't add it automatically. Let me refresh this. Okay, add products. Again suggest. See, it will stays there only. Okay, guided only. Okay, guided only. When you click on guided selling, it comes like this in a selection product selection page. It will comes like a filter thing. Okay, if you click guided only, then this will not appear. Guided only means you have to only select products by using guided selling, or either you can search. These search filters won't come up. Then sort order, if you have multiple code process, you can give a order. Okay. Okay, product configuration initializer and executor. These are very advanced concepts, I can say, in a guided selling. I am not going to touch it right now, but I can give you overview of it, or I can give a brief, I can say. Suppose if you have very complex requirement wherein you want to show a guided selling based like using VF page, then you can use a product configuration initialization. Here you have to give a VF page name. That Visual Force page will do or sort of products, or you can say filter of products based on you. And product search executor is related to plugin for that guided selling, which you can use it. I hope I have covered everything. Let me see. Yes, we have covered all. Okay, before going to any questions, let me please bear for me 5 minutes. Okay, to summarize this, we have seen guided selling is a prompt which provides a question answer format for customer, and it very helpful for salesperson to optimize or to select a optimized list of products. Okay, then guided selling includes the main object, the head object is code process, then we have process input conditions, and this object. The steps to execute a guided selling: first of all, you have to create a fields on product object, you have to create same fields on a process input object, then create a record of code process, then create a records of process input, and based on which question will show, based on which questions answer, you have to create a process input conditions for those. And the most two important things that you have to write it down, note it down, or keep in a memory for a forever, that always populate code process ID on a code object, otherwise your guided selling won't work, trust me. Second, always have your product populated with a correct value for the guided selling. That's it. Let me see if you guys have any questions or not. Yeah.
just
Yeah, Dixit,
adding
go ahead.
just adding on to your point, can you share your screen again? uh, I just wanted to show one thing in this org. Okay, uh,
Sure.
just share your screen
Uh,
and open the lightning flow which we have created. Okay.
okay. 1 minute. I'm sharing my screen. Just let me know. Are you able to see?
Yeah, it is visible. Just go to setup and
Yes. I'm adding. And you want to open me the flow, correct?
yes. Open this, yes. So just open now. Click on open.
Correct. Okay, you want to guide me through the flow as well?
No, just describe them, just as you have, I just wanted to
Okay.
highlight here, you have, like in real time it's not gonna be something like that, we are hard coding the ID. Okay, So all the participants, like I just wanted to
Wait,
show, you
yeah.
have to follow the triggered flow, right? This way you can, populate the code process ID as soon as your code record gets updated. Okay. If you just click on Ashwini, assign code ID assignment,
Okay, assign. Okay, let me do this.
edit. Yes.
Hmm,
So, guys, you can see I am going to, we are populating code record ID equals this label dot core process ID, right? So, always follow the label, structure. You have to create the custom labels in Salesforce, populate the hard code ID in that. Whenever
correct.
you are going to deploy this flow to other environment, okay. So if you, let's suppose, any ID gets changed, you just have to change the label. There is no need to change inside the flow. Okay. As all of you know, workflow and process builders are gonna be, retiring soon. So, make a habit of creating flow. So yeah, that's it. Like I just wanted to highlight. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, guys, very good point mentioned by Dikshit. Soon workflow and process builder are going. Very sad actually, because even I haven't worked too much on a flow, but it's okay. कभी ना कभी किसी को बूढ़ा होने में तो जाने दो. ठीक है. Jokes apart, yes, very good point, Dikshit. You can use always a flow. So, Dikshit, are we ready for questions then?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, let's see. I've stopped shared. Okay.
Let me go to the top.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks, Sagar, for mentioning that. Please ask queries if you have any. Just shoot. Thanks. Thanks.
Yeah, first question asked by Neeraj. He says, "What if the price of that gets low? Will the shopkeeper charge the same amount?" So basically, that question is, yeah, terms of contracted price. You are saying, I know, like, prices of products gets changed, but generally it gets increased, right? So in a real time, it will not be feasible, right? Let's suppose you are going to a shopkeeper and you are purchasing a product of rupees 10, and after a year that product has the value of rupees 5, so you will be again charged to rupees 10. So it doesn't make any sense, right? So in real time it will not be a possible scenario, right? So maybe at that point of time, negotiation can happen, kind of negotiation thing. Obviously you won't be charging more. If you are getting a product at 5, you won't be, charging you at rupees 10. So just as per real time, I don't think this can be feasible in terms of CPQ. You will never face this kind of scenario. Okay. So maybe mostly the, there is an increase in price as always. So I hope this answers your question,
Okay.
Neeraj. And again is one question asked by Akash Kumar: what if both price and discount fields are populated? Which will be applied? Okay. So answering to your question, Akash, it is not sure which is gonna apply. Okay. I'll quickly share my screen. Okay. I have tried this right now. Okay. I'll quickly share my screen and let you know. Actually, just let me know my screen is visible now.
Yes, buddy. It's visible.
Okay. So answering to your question, Akash, let's suppose I have given the $200 price and 10% discount as well. If you just hover this help icon, okay, it says discount of the price book percent represented by this contracted price. Either this field or price should be set, but not both. Okay. In case of both, it will not give you any error. It will get confused which to apply. And more importantly, in real time you will not face this scenario ever, because it's not be like that I am saying to you I will be purchasing this soft one license. Okay, I want 10% discount as well, and I want this product to be at 200 price. It is a common like sense, like either you will be getting a discount or you will getting a whole price together, right? If your price is having a $25 amount in the standard price, either I will be getting it in $20 price or I will be getting a 10% discount on that. Either way is possible, not both. Okay. It will not give you any error. But the thing is, if you go to any code, let's suppose I have added this, right? It is, let's suppose, uh I add another soft one product. Okay. Click on select. Okay. Now you see, 10% discount is getting applied, right? It is not picking up the price. It seems like it is giving precedence to discount, but in real time you will not get any requirement, or you will not come across any kind of requirement where you have to set the both of the fields, because it doesn't make any real time sense to put those fields together. Okay, so I'll stop sharing my screen. Hope this answers your question, Akash. Ashwini, next question is from guided selling. I have answered in the chat itself. You can go through once, okay?
Yes, sorry, I was talking on a mute. Yeah, that you have already answered that.
Yes,
But
in chat window, people were asking, so I have texted out. Read out. You can just read out. If you want to add something, you can add it on. Lakshmi has asked, is there any limit for number of questions or fields to be created on product or process input object?
I don't think we have any number limits. Till the time I have been working in a Salesforce CPQ, I never seen any limit of questions. Maximum I have created guided selling for 9 questions till the time. So I don't think there is a limit. Even this is not specified in any of the help docs, or you can say any guided selling updates. So hope
Right.
in a nearer future it might happen that they have put. But right now, Lakshmi, we don't have any, you know, uh,
Yeah,
any
actually,
fields,
yeah, actually, you
any
are right.
limits.
Yeah, you are right, Ashwini. But the thing is, Lakshmi, I have come across some scenario. One of my friend was working in CPQ, so he come across a limit of these questions. Basically, I am not remembering exact at that point of time. He has configured 99 or 100 process input uh, questions, something like that. Okay, so you can create, and beyond the limit as well. But once you click on guided selling, once you click on add products, and once you click on suggest button, the CPQ will show you an error. Okay, so maybe that is a kind of a managed package error we generally got. But I'll try to figure out what is the exact number of that input, number of input questions you have. Or if you talk about custom fields, I don't think, like, obviously custom fields limits is present on each and every object. Okay, that is something from the Salesforce standard, not for CPQ, right?
Yeah, yeah, that is from Salesforce itself. So
Yes.
Rahul, I can see one question from Rahul: can we use global pick list field? Hey Rahul, correct, you can use global pick list field, but there is a but, that is, you can bring the value from global pick list, but you have to create another, or I can say a separate pick list value on product and process input.
Right.
This is the thing. So I hope this answers your question. Second, is there a limit? Lakshmi, I have already answered. Okay, I have one question from Mega as well. Let's see what Mega has to say. Does Twinfield functionality logic? Buddy, we have already, Salesforce CPQ already designed this Twinfield relation function, or functionality for specific objects. Okay, so it's not a Twinfield logic here. It's just a part of configurations that we do. Okay, then what else? Okay, thanks Dixit for answering these questions while I was delivering a session. Thank you. Okay, Dixit has answered. That's cool, you have already answered. I'll show the end of session. Okay. Okay. Can guided selling show different products for different account segment? Okay, you are meaning to say that for different account, based on the account, we have to show a different products. For this kind of requirement, buddy, we can implement. We have to do customization, that you can have one. You can have automation that based on the account, you can have different guided selling. Suppose I have account from UK, I have account from India. Okay, I have written an automation that if my account is from UK, populate this guided selling ID onto quote and followed by that guided selling. And if my account is from India, then populate the another guided selling which is designated for India on quote process. Like that way you can implement. I hope this answers your question. That way you can implement, buddy.
Yes, correct, Ashwini. So basically, he has to populate the code process ID, right?
Correct.
So yes, account
Based on a different account. Correct.
accounts. Right.
Right now, just I had worked on such a kind of requirement.
Okay. Yeah.
That's why. Do we need to create this flow? Lakshmi, no need to create this flow, but not flow as such, but you need to have some automation to populate that quote ID, because then it will be very manual job, and most of the time it will give a not error actually, but this happened that you mostly we forgot to populate the ID, and it's a manual job. Every time when you create a code, populate that ID. So it's better to have anything workflow, process builder, flow. But it's better that if you are able to write a flow, because as Dikshit mentioned, process builder and workflow, they are going to retire. You can have anything, any automation to populate that ID. That's not a mandate to have a flow, buddy. Okay, let's go to Pratiksha. What is the main difference between guided selling and configuration attribute? Pratiksha, first of all, very good question. Okay, guided selling is a prompt which basically we have three screens in a Salesforce CPQ. The first screen, when we click on edit line, it's a line editor. The second screen we have is a product selection page. And the third screen we have is a product configurator. Guided selling always comes before product configurator. Configuration attribute always comes on a product configurator. Guided selling is written a list of products to select, and configuration attributes helps you to find exact match based on those configuration attributes. Both are doing the same functionality, like functionality as in terminology, as in both are filtering the products, but has different purposes, or you can say different configurations. I hope this answers your question. Okay, then moving to Rahul's question, then how to migrate of existing process to flows if you want to need in future. I think for this we have to take a session on flow.
No, no. Actually, yeah. Let me answer to this question.
Yeah, go
He's
ahead.
basically want to migrate process builder or something like to flows. So basically Salesforce is coming up with maybe in this coming release or maybe next release, they are coming with some automation like tools which can directly migrate your process builders or workflows to lightning flows. But in spite of following that, just redesigned your process builders or workflows, right, in order to improve the efficiency of your org. Or you can combine n number of process builder or n number of workflows inside a single flow itself, right? So that is the best option, like I know you can follow the standard tools which Salesforce will provide, but in spite of using that, you can redesign your workflows. Why to keep n number of things in the org if we can merge it out in a single flow it's as well, right? There might be some workflows which are running on before insert only, so you can create a separate flow on before insert, and you can put all the fields population inside a single flow as well, right? So I know it takes a time, like it will invest your time, but it is very a good practice to redesign everything, right? Because it is always says, it is always good to be on a latest thing, right? So you can use the tools which Salesforce provide, but I'm not, like I like my personal choice is to redesign everything. I know it will be hard from project point of view, but once you redesign everything in flow, it will make easy for people to debug everything in a single place, right? Not, you don't have to check like n number of workflows or process builder. So I hope this answers the question of Rahul. Okay.
Okay, I have very interesting thing by Ishwar. Hey Ishwar, this is really interesting. Let me read for all of us. For guided selling, can we take help from third-party chatbot for better UI? Means, can we configure third-party chatbot with process input object? Really out of box thinking, Ishwar. We haven't tried it yet, or even I haven't come across any article or any idea for community that we can do this. So I really not having any information regarding it, but I'll surely look for this and answers your question. Surely I'll connect with you,
Yeah,
or I'll have this.
adding on to your answer, Ashwini, I believe this is something not possible in CPQ for the time being, because Ishwar, we cannot change the UI in the CPQ because everything lies in the code line editor itself. Okay, you don't have the control over the UI part. Okay, but the thing is, you can customize everything. Even you can have your own code line editor as well. Okay, that can be done, but that will require a lot of effort and lot of coding as well. In that way you can integrate third party, or you can choose any chatbot as well. Okay, that will require another integrations as well. But CPQ itself does not provide you a way to change its UI stuff, right? So that is something for the time being, it is not possible in this CPQ. Okay. And one more question asked by Ishwar: in real life, if we want fixed product price for future, then we have to keep some money as guarantee. Similarly, in CPQ, sales reps something configuration too. uh, I'm not able to understand this question. Ashwini, can you read it out once?
Sure, let me read it. In real life, if we want fixed product price, okay, for future, then if we want fixed product price for future, then we have to keep some money as a guarantee. Ishwar, can
Yeah,
you
that is something contracted price itself, right?
correct? That is a
That
contract,
is,
but
yeah, that's what I have explained. That is something, contracted price in
correct.
later days. Yeah, later days means to say, like, you can define the date range as well, right? So whenever customer quotes within that date range, it can be of n number of years, right? Automatically that your price will automatically get applied. So yeah, you can leverage the feature of expiration date, or that effective date. Okay. So Sagar, Ashwini, I believe we are done with the questions. Okay, so you can start with the uh,
Sure, Ashwini, sure.
Kahoot quiz. Yeah.
Yeah. So first of all, I would like to apologize for joining late. Actually, there was some technical glitch which I was like trying to fix it, and like after that we joined it finally. And like I would like to like thank you, Ashwini and Dikshit, for this particular insightful session. And this session was full of learning and knowledge, which will definitely help everyone to have like dig more into this particular CPQ part of guided on, and they will definitely work on it. I saw like many people ask multiple queries related to the session whichever we have gave, and thanks team for this. And we are grateful again, and thank you once again, Dikshit and Ashwini. I'll just quickly share my screen and then we can start with the quiz. Just let me know once my screen is visible to everyone.
Yes, Saga, it's visible.
Yep. So I guess like most of the people are aware of this Kahoot quiz. You just need to type www.kahoot.it on your URL, either on phone, either on that particular URL of desktop, and then you just need to write a pin over there 3889075. I can see few of the people have already joined. We'll just wait for like 2 3 minutes and then we can start. I see Abhishek joined, Sumit joined, Shamik, Sanat, Nikki, Ramya, Kushagra, Ramadeep, Lakshmi, Abhishek, Kushagra. I guess 18 people have joined. Akash, Mohammed, Megha. Okay, yeah. 23 people have joined. People are joining. Yep. Jishan, Anshul. RP. Okay. Okay. So I guess we have a strength of like nearly in between 40 to 50. We'll just wait for 2 minutes and then we can start. Anyone is facing challenges, please put it over the chat. We'll take it ahead. If anyone is facing, Ishwar, okay. 34 people have joined. Vivek, okay. Anyone is facing challenges with respect to this? We will just wait for 1 more minute and then we'll start with the quiz. Okay, let's move. Okay, so starting with the first question. Which plugin is directly associated with guided selling? Order management plugin, product configuration initializer, quote calculator plugin, recommended product plugin. I see people have answered 19, 20, 21, 23. We have a strength of 35. Okay, so the correct answer is product configuration initializer. 13 people have given a correct answer. Let's see the scoreboard. Sumit is on the top with 946. Madhura is on the second, 850. Lakshmi is on the third, 827. Coming to the next question. Which of the following object is used to set the default value of the process input? Product, quote line, process input condition. Okay, 13 have answered. 16, 17, 19, 27. Okay, so the correct answer is quote. 12 people have answered correctly. Let's see the podium. Again, Sumit is on the top, 1913. Madhura is on the second, 1811. Pratiksha Maharaj is on third, 155. Followed by Meenakshi and Surendra. Let's go to the next one. Which field on account is used to avoid overriding of parent? Ignore contact prices, ignore parent contact prices, ignore contacted price on parent, ignore contact price. Okay, so the correct answer is ignore parent contact prices. Let's see the podium. Meenakshi is on the top with 2207. Anshul is on the second, 2049. Sumit has dropped on the third one, 1913. Abhishek is on the fourth. Let's go to the next question. Parent contact prices automatically get applied on the child account, true or false? So the correct answer is true. Let's see the podium. Anshul is on the top with 2986. Sumit is on the second, 2885. Abhishek is on the third, 2819. Let's go to the other one. Last question, final question. Which field on the code need to be populated in the order to initiate the guided selling process? Process input ID, process input condition ID, process ID, or template ID. 30, 31. Okay, I guess all have answered the question. Okay, so the correct answer is code process ID. Let's see the podium. who is on the top. On the top, we third one we have Madhura. Second one we have Abhishek. First one we have Sumit. Okay, congratulations to all the winners who have joined the session, and congratulations to all the winners. Let me take a pic of this. Yep. Thank you everyone for joining this session. So, Sonali, you wanna add something over it?
Yes, thank you, Saga. So, first of all, I would congratulate all the winners.
Yeah.
I request the winners, the top three winners, to paste their email ID in the chat box so that we can send you the certification vouchers that you have won. And next, I would like to thank Ashwini and Dikshit for conducting such an interactive session. And we look for many more sessions with you in future. And yeah, I think we can conclude the session. I request all the attendees to stay tuned to our group's updates. We are coming with many more sessions in upcoming months. So stay tuned and happy weekend.
Before signing off, so
Yeah.
thank you so much, guys. First of all, I would like to thank Sagar and Sonali for giving me and Dikshit a nice platform and opportunity to share the knowledge. And thank you, guys, for being patient listener and asking so many questions to us. So yes, signing off. Keep learning from
And
Dikshit and Ashwini.
yeah, adding on to what Sonali and Ashwini said, like I feel the same, but I just wanted to, say like we will have soon have a session on DocuSign. Okay, like I am been planning maybe 2 3 sessions, and one of them will be with Sonali and Sagar. So like hopefully me and Ashwini will take it together. So that is again with CPQ, and that will be very helpful for you because that is something related to new DocuSign, which just has come in month of May, and it has been recently updated in September month. So hopefully we will see an interesting session of DocuSign as well. Okay.
Thanks, Dikshit, for this. Signing off. Thanks a lot. Thanks, everyone. Bye bye.
Bye everyone. Winners, please paste the email ID.
Thank you, everyone. Bye bye.
Bye bye.